Good afternoon, students. I would like to welcome all of you to Solberg Academy. Now, you all know that we are going through a harsh condition. In this pandemic situation, we are trying to reach you through online mode of teaching. Initially, you might find some difficulties because you are completely new to this system, but don't worry, we are all here to help you. Before going to start the class, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sandan Pathak and I am your chemistry teacher. In today's class, I'll give you a brief introduction to chemistry. So, what is chemistry? The word chemistry is coming from an Arabic word, alchemia. And the meaning of the word is the art of transformation. That means how one substance can be converted into a completely new substance with the help of suitable techniques. In scientific language, chemistry is the study of composition, structure, and science of matter. Now, I will discuss different branches of chemistry. So basically, there are 5 different branches of chemistry: organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, physical chemistry, analytical chemistry, and biochemistry. Organic chemistry. It is the study of chemical compounds consist primarily of carbon. You know that carbon has a unique ability called catenation. So due to its unique ability of catenation, it can form large number of compounds. Therefore, in order to study the structure, physical and chemical properties of those compounds, we require a separate branch of chemistry which is known as organic chemistry. Without organic chemistry, you cannot think about medicine and drugs. You cannot think about detergents, plastics, and different things which are useful and which we use in our day-to-day life. Inorganic chemistry. It is the branch of chemistry in which we deal with the different compounds of different elements other than carbon. For example, mercury, cadmium, zinc, aluminium, gadolinium, lead, bismuth, etc. In this branch, we talk about minerals, we talk about oxides of different elements, and we study the structure and properties of different compounds formed by those elements. Next is physical chemistry. Physical chemistry is the application of techniques and properties of physics to the chemical system. Actually, it is a bridge between physics and chemistry. For example, electroplating, combustion, fluorescence. In all these processes, the main principle is coming from physics. In this branch, that is physical chemistry, we use different techniques and principles of physics in our chemical system. Biochemistry. It is a branch of chemistry in which we study the chemical processes that are taking place in the living organisms. In biology, you find protein synthesis, you find the concept of DNA and heredity, you find how different physiochemical phenomena are regulated by hormones. The principle and the science behind these phenomena are discussed under this discipline. In biochemistry, we study the different compounds that are responsible for different physiochemical phenomena that are taking place inside our body. Next, analytical chemistry. Analytical chemistry is the study of separation, identification, and quantification of the chemical components of the matter. Actually, analytical chemistry deals with the application of chemistry. You heard about forensic science, in which different crimes are being investigated with the help of some fingerprints, blood samples, etc. These forensic science are a separate discipline, it is a specific discipline of analytical chemistry. We do our blood tests, urine tests, stool tests, which also follows the principles of analytical chemistry. Now, we'll discuss some basic concept of chemistry. And what is matter? I'll discuss about matter first. Because in the definition, you find that chemistry is all about the properties, of matter. So I think you are familiar with this term. Any substance that occupies space, possesses mass, and has volume is called matter. Example may include a glass of milk, a gas balloon, a iron TMT bar, a tree, or books. States of matter. Matter may exist in three different forms: solid, liquid, and gas. The states of matter can be interchanged by applying suitable chemical condition. Suitable chemical condition means applying temperature, pressure, catalyst, etc. Now, classification of matter. Matter can be broadly divided into two categories: mixtures and pure substance. Mixture are of two types: homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Pure substance can again be divided into two categories: elements and compounds. First, let me discuss about substance versus mixture. Pure substance versus mixture. So pure substance, it is a type of matter with a fixed composition. Every sample has exactly the same characteristics, properties, and composition. For example, elements like helium, neon, sodium, potassium, carbon, nitrogen, etc., and compounds like water, vinegar, etc. Mixture. Matter composed of two or more substances that can be separated by physical means, each of which retain its own identity and properties. For example, salt water, concrete, these are some examples of mixture. First, let me discuss about elements and compounds. Elements are the simplest form of matter. For example, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, etc. But these elements, when combined in a fixed ratio, then we get compounds. For example, nitrogen and oxygen, both are elements. But when they combine in a ratio 1:1, then we get nitrous oxides. Similarly, water, nitrogen dioxide, carbon dioxides, which are formed by combination of two or more elements, are known as compound. Types of mixture. In the flow chart, you have seen that there are two types of mixture. One is heterogeneous mixture and the other one is homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture, you cannot see the different part of the mixture. The different constituents of the homogeneous mixture lost their individual identity. But in heterogeneous mixture, you can see the different parts of the mixture easily. Different constituents of this mixture do not lose their original identity. For example, if you dissolve sand in water, then we'll get a heterogeneous mixture, because you know that sand is not dissolved in water, and with bare eyes you can see sands which settle down under the water. So sand is not losing its original identity. So it is a perfect example of heterogeneous mixture. But if you dissolve some sugar in water, then you will get a clear solution. And with your bare eyes, you cannot identify the constituent of the mixture. Okay, so that is an example of homogeneous mixture. So these are some basic concepts of chemistry. So from tomorrow, we'll discuss the different parts of the chapter. So hope you enjoy the class. Thank you.